Hi my lovelies, welcome back to my channel, and for everybody who is new, I'm Leorah and I'm so glad you found me. So welcome to today's video, which is my review of the Tropical Vibes palette from Beauté, which I bought on launch because it tried to stop me. Sweeties, look at this palette and tell me that this is not absolutely stunningly gorgeous. This is next to the Oceanic palette from Beauté, which I also own. These two are my most favorite palettes, really, of Beauté. So nice, so well executed, and of course the formula, as always, is just really nice. So we are apparently already doing the review. No, we are not. Okay, sweeties, the review part is at the end of the video, but of course you're going to see 4 looks here today. This one I'm creating here, and of course 3 looks I've done previously already, which you're going to see later on in pictures, and you'll see the palettes swatched out, and of course, as I already told you at the end, the review part. So if you've just found me, I'm Leorah. I'm a makeup artist and stylist. I'm living for colorful makeup. I'm very much into indie brands, supporting them, giving them a platform. So if that is something that you would like, then please check out my channel, and of course also my social media, which is linked down in the description box for your easy access. Check it all out, get to know me a little bit, and subscribe, because I would absolutely be honored to have you here. Okay, besides that, of course, this is a very positive place. We're chatting a lot. We are very happy about makeup. We are very positive in our outlook, and we are talking about stuff, and also that is what you're going to hear me do when I'm doing this look, okay? Because I'm going to give you a bit of a life update today, because life has been crazy, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about what has been going on in the last weeks in my private life off camera, okay? So you might also have noticed maybe that I have been uploading only 3 videos per week instead of like 5 or more. So that is the reason, because I barely got those 3 done because of everything being so crazy. So you will hear about it. This is not me complaining, okay? This is absolutely not it. I'm just sharing, because this is my friendship zone here with you guys. So this is what we're doing, okay? So I hope you will enjoy the chatty time with me hanging out, and of course also to get to know this palette. And without further ado, let's go right into it. Okay, sweeties, let us do a look. Let's do a look with this palette, of course, and I want to actually go in with a lot of yellow. So let's just start with this one. This is the shade Mango. Very fitting, and let's pack it on and see what happens. I have used this shade a lot of times already to blend out other shades, to blend out the greens and stuff, but I've never used it for its own benefit really yet. Is that true? I hope so. I hope I'm not lying, but this is the 4th look now, and of course a lot of other stuff is going on in my life, so that's why I sometimes lose track of stuff. And that is exactly what we're going to talk about today. That is the topic for today, because I wanted to give you a bit of a life update about what has been happening, because I already kind of suggested in a previous video that life has been a little bit not normal. Now I know that you all relate, because nobody's life is really normal these days for the last 2 years at least, and I want to really say that nobody's life has gone I don't know, a normal way, I guess. And I totally understand, and for everything that I'm going to say now, I want to say that I'm still very grateful and that we're still doing overall okay. Alright, so just that there's no misunderstanding. I'm not sitting here whining. I'm just sharing, okay? There is a difference. Okay, so what I wanted to share with you, sweeties, is actually that yes, life has been a little bit upside down. Now, if you don't know, if you've just found me, I have 7 children. They are all at the age of, let's say, almost 15 is my oldest, and 5 is the youngest, alright? So that is my age range. So all of them are in school, apart from the little one who is in kindergarten. So I want to say about 2 weeks ago, it's a little bit more by the time you're seeing this, all of my children had to go into isolation because of them having been tested due to the pandemic in school. Alright, so they do these tests once in a while to just like test everybody and see if they're all okay. So of course they go to school with masks on and this and that and the other thing, but they're also getting tested just to be, well, to be safe, I don't know, but to be sure what's happening. Alright, so we didn't really expect anything, because really we have sailed through this pandemic just speaking health-wise, very, very well. All right. We did actually have 2 kids previously last summer who did get the, I don't know if I'm allowed to say the word, who did get the virus, all right, but we didn't even notice because they just passed through it without like major symptoms or anything. And only by the end of the summer last year, when everybody got tested before going back to school in September, we found out that they have antibodies, you know. So that is basically how we found out when they did serological tests. Okay, now let's go in with the next color. Which is gonna be, I think, this light green, and I kind of want to like press it, sorry, into that yellow a little bit and make like a transition to something darker. So let's do, what is this? Chartreuse, I don't know. Sorry. Okay, so that is the next shade, and I'm just gonna go slightly with this and then pretty much soon go into something darker. So kind of till like midway point here. And that is it, not too much. All right, so in any case, so we have been sailing through this whole pandemic in kind of a blissful situation compared to other families. Yes, we have been just as much in isolation with other people and due to other people, but not really because we ourselves were sick or affected. So thank God for that. Now, of course, economically speaking, completely different story. It's very, very hard because my husband is doing traveling for his business, and that of course is very, very bad when something like this happens, you know, like how do you stay afloat? And also, I personally, just talking about myself now as a makeup artist, I had 2 clients in the last 2 years. You know, you do the math. Okay, so it is very, very, very hard to like or to keep a family of 9 people afloat like that, you know. So that is the situation. Okay, now let's go in with the next shade, and I think I'm going to take this shade here. This is the shade Jungle, and I think this one I'm going to like place right here. The yellow and the green kind of look a little bit the same now, but let's just see what we can do with this look still. All right, so in any case, that is kind of our situation. Okay, so now in the last 2 weeks, my kids have been sent into quarantine. Never know how to pronounce it. Quarantine, actually like the whole time. And the first time it was because someone else in school got infected, and basically I had to, like every day, I sent out some kids, and some kids I picked up. Some kids during the day, like suddenly I got a call, pick up your child right now because the whole class right now is going into a quarantine. And it was just so annoying. So at some point I just went, when I was picking up a child, and I just went through all the other classrooms looking for the other kids that are still belonging to me, for my kids, and I said, I'm picking up everybody. I'm sick and tired. I'm not doing this anymore, you know. So I kind of went on a rampage there, but actually the teachers were very, very understanding. They said, you know, at least you have some brains. I wouldn't send my kid here either, you know. It was really, really crazy. So let's go into this one. This shade I have not used yet, and that's the shade Army. And let's just put this one right here. Ooh, this is nicely pigmented, really, really nice. So this is kind of, this is cool. I really like that. Okay, so in any case, that is basically what it was. So this is how it started. Now, right before all of that happened, all of my kids had gotten tested. One of them turned out to have the virus. So yeah, that meant that basically all of us had to go into isolation, and that was of course not fun. So now ever since, we have been in isolation, and my husband needed some extra testing to get out because he is already 60 plus, because of course older people plus also people with preconditions, they need special testing to get out of isolation. We're all fine. Even my son, who was tested positive for the virus, has been now negative. So but we are still in isolation, just waiting for the last test results to come in, and then they can come out. Okay, but just imagine this whole situation with 9 people all locked in like this. Now, that's not only it, you know, that is already like annoying enough, I want to say. I'm gonna go back into Mango, and that's already annoying enough. And again, I'm not complaining in the sense of woe is me. I'm just sharing that this is like real life, okay? While of course my husband is trying to work and I'm trying to work, we both can of course work from home as far as it goes, but that is of course you have then suddenly 7 kids at home all the time, 24/7. Okay, for the most part up until now I was also the only one who was not in isolation who could drive, which means that I had to run all the errands and do all of these things. Okay, so big deal. Whatever. Let's go in with a fluffy brush again in the shade Army and just like fluff out this shade a little bit. And all of that. So now of course also 6, let me think, is that true? No, 5 out of the 7 children had lessons through Zoom, remote learning, you know. Now the thing is, I have one computer, which is usually where I work. My husband has one, but that is in his office. Okay, so the kids are not allowed to go there. Okay, so he has a computer, which is out of the picture. I have a computer where I'm editing my videos and like doing all of these things, which is basically my office is in our living room. Okay, this is where I work. Then the older ones, the 4 older ones have smartphones, but everybody else has nothing. So now do Zoom lessons like this, you know? So that was really, really challenging. And then of course when I think, okay, so maybe once they're all set up for their Zoom lessons, I'm gonna go and film new makeup releases. Yeah, keep dreaming, Leorah, because maybe you relate to the fact that half of the time the links for the Zoom lessons don't work. Or the teacher needs to send a code for the kids to be let into the Zoom lessons, and who knows what. And then once they are in, they suddenly come with some kind of request. You know what? Quickly bring this and that, as I don't know, especially like in my first graders. You know, then suddenly the teachers say, "Oh, why don't you bring something spicy or something sweet or something you need to do this and that and the other thing as an example to hold in the camera." Now everybody comes to me, you know? Okay, so after the first lessons, around 9:30, I think, okay, so they're now finally settled. Finally, everybody is in their class. Now the teachers say, "Okay, sweeties, well done. Let's go and have a break. Go and eat something." Now everybody comes to me again. "Mom, what are we eating?" And I'm saying like, why do I have to like dance around like this, you know? And that was my whole situation the whole time. And then of course, because you know certain telephones did not work for certain links and stuff, I had to give up my computer where I was trying to edit my videos, you know? So that meant that basically I had to do my editing, new makeup releases, which takes so many hours for me, and of course also the other videos, I had to edit them during the evening hours and the night, you know? But also I'm filming also at night, so my nights got really, really short, and I was this close to a burnout, I promise you, because anyway I'm not sleeping a lot because I'm always working and always trying to get stuff done. It's not always for YouTube or for my social media. I just also have a lot of other things to do because I have a very large household. But that was just so like crazy, you know? And at some point I got to the point that I was like, I'm not doing makeup. Not doing it, you know. There were like 4 or 5 days where I just stayed without makeup and I was just barely surviving, you know. And then in the evenings I just went out for like a long brisk walk in order to like mentally stay afloat. But beyond that, I was stuck at home with the children and trying to you know, to manage this. Okay, now then of course all the testing. You have to take your children to what are they now called? Antigen tests. Now you wait 2.5 hours potentially in line to get tested. Now if you're not sick already, you get it there, I promise you, you know. So stuff like this, which takes huge chunks out of your day, where you think like, how are we supposed to shoulder this, you know? And then everything comes with, of course, a time frame on it, because you get messages, like 150 messages in like 10 minutes from all the different groups in school on WhatsApp in Hebrew. Sweeties, like, please, God help me. Because of course Hebrew is not my mother tongue, and it is very, very hard for me to like just stay on top of everything, you know. It is unbelievable. So, and then you get these messages, you gotta take your children to be tested today. Now, you cannot get an appointment anywhere, and if you don't have an appointment, you stand in line for like 2-3 hours, which is like, how? When? How am I supposed to do this? You know? So that is basically how the situation was. And beyond all of that, it is also, of course, an issue that the children, when there's so many kids at the same time at home all the time for so many days, 24/7, they start to fight. They start to hate each other. You know? So that was just a situation where I thought, I need to get out of here. Need to definitely get out of here. So yeah, at some point I then started to do makeup again, because seriously, that is what makes me happy. And when I feel also pretty or prettier, when I have makeup on and I'm like looking made up during the day, then I just also feel better, like in general throughout the day. So that is really, really good. Also, like, there is not really a day ever when I wear just like a sweatsuit or something. I don't own a sweatsuit. I always get dressed up. I always look proper, and also my children always have to dress up like normal, you know. They're never running around in pajamas. I don't allow that. Also, when they're in isolation, we're all getting dressed, we're all eating at the same time that we usually would eat, and things like this. The order doesn't change, but still, I mean, I think I'm doing that because I need to keep my kids in line, so they see that life continues. But beyond that, it is still hard enough, you know. So that is basically what I wanted to share with you today while creating this look. Now, I have a question to myself, how I'm going to continue this look. Do I want to do something more than that? I really don't know, honestly. Maybe let's just try. Let's do this one shimmer here, which is called Rainforest, which is the lighter one of the two, and let's just place that on and see what happens. All right, I might also maybe want to do this with my finger, because of course now this is a set surface. So, but in any case, I don't want to put it on like too thick, because I want this to be not completely covering up the yellowish tone underneath. It kind of looks more almost like a mustardy yellow now, at least here for me. So, okay, I'm just going to dab this on slightly and then kind of try to like brush it out a little bit, just so we have something shimmery also, because I really do not prefer all matte looks. So, and of course we do only have 3 shimmers in the palette, so of course this is kind of a limit that you have here. Okay, but in any case, I think this is something like that. Okay, I'm still going to do some fine-tuning, and yeah, so this is basically my story. That is why I was saying that life is so crazy and that it is so overwhelming. I think it was in my last makeup haul. If you haven't seen it, this is where I said it, because actually my last collected makeup haul was not like super huge. It was way more like healthy and reasonable for like a normal person. I really felt that it was such, like, everything in me was sighing a sigh of relief, because, you know, if you have a lot of products to work with, it can create so much pressure in you, especially when you're a very driven person and you also feel like you want to create content with everything, and you also want to show everything, and you want to be present. And of course also, once you're monetized on YouTube, you don't earn anything. Like, if you do, that's not true, but if you're not present, you don't grow your channel. If you don't upload, you don't have views, or you have much less views only from older videos, and then you also earn less there. So I kind of needed to also keep going and not shutting down my channel, even though I was telling my besties like every single day, I'm shutting down my channel at least for 2 weeks. I just need to, you know. But then I thought, wow, but I'm also not having customers, and I'm also not having like anything else. And not that I'm earning a lot from YouTube at all. It pays for two or three packages of diapers, really. But I was like, no, I need to get going, and I need to keep going, because this is also really the only place that keeps me balanced and that keeps me happy, because this is like the only thing that is not connected to all of the things that make me crazy right now, you know. So that is that. Okay, so I'm going to finish this look, sweeties, and we're gonna meet here again in just a second for the swatches, and of course for the other 3 looks that I've created, and after that for the review part, so stay tuned. Okay, my lovelies, here we are for the review part. I hope you did enjoy seeing the looks, the other looks that I have done, and also me creating this look and the swatches. And before we go in to the review, I'm going to, of course, show you the look a little bit closer. Of course, you can see that I did apply a red liner, which is one from Inglot, and also some random glitter from AliExpress. And in a second, I'm also going to tell you how I finished the look, the rest of the look with the palette. Okay, so on my lower waterline I do have a dark brown, and beyond that, of course, I used shades from the palette. Just in my inner corner I actually have not a shade from the palette. It is the same highlighter that I also have here on my cheekbone, which is the Halloween Magic. It's Halloween Magic from CXC Cosmetics. Alright, so let's zoom you out and let's chat a little bit about the palette. Okay, so you do get the palette in a sleeve, which looks exactly like the outer packaging of the palette, just that there is no ingredients on the palette, they are on the sleeve. Alright, so that is that. Beyond that, you do have, of course, cardboard packaging, which is usually the case with Ace Beauté. You do have 15 shades, you do have shade names, you do have a mirror. And of course here you have this whole very earthy color scheme, which is so nice. Does it necessarily speak tropics to me or tropical? Not 100% sure, because honestly I would not know, because I've never been there. I've never been anywhere there in that region. Okay, so I don't think I'm an expert on this. I just feel it is very connected to earth, to mother nature, to life sources, you know. This is how I feel about the palette, and this is what draws me in so much, because it's rich, it's deep, it's dramatic, it's full of life and full of force, and this is how I see nature, you know. So this is basically what my vibe is when, or what my feeling is when I look at the palette. All right, so how did I finish the look? Okay, so I already told you I have a dark brown on my waterline, and then I actually pushed this here right underneath and blended it out with this, and a tiny little bit with this, but almost not. It's mostly these 2 shades here, and that is how I finished the look. So that is all. All right, so beyond that, of course, you saw me create the look. Did the blending go super well? It was a little bit hard to actually blend this part, these 2 together. The yellow and this was no problem, because they're actually quite similar on the skin. I hope that you saw in the swatches that they are actually not. They are different shades. Of course, this is yellow and this is a very light green, but you know, on the skin and maybe on a primer that is not white, it will look very similar. But the blending was so. It was not 100% super easy. I have to say though that also this time with this look, this is the only look where I did this, I went in with the lightest shade. With all the other looks that you've seen already, I went in with the darkest shade, and I think that is the way to use the palette. Or honestly, this is just my makeup style and this is my comfort zone. I usually go in with the darkest shades, because you just get such an amazing result, you know, in color impact and all of that. So you try it for yourself. I do believe that they're nicely buildable and everything is fine. I just feel that the better impact you can have with the palette is when you go in with the darkest shade first. The shimmers are stunning. Absolutely stunning. They are really foiled or metallic. They're really beautiful. They also pick up okay on the brush. Of course, today you saw that when it is not on a primer, when it is already a set surface, the impact is a little bit less, but the second you just reapply it then also with your finger, it's absolutely fine. Okay, so that is what it is. You do have 3 shimmers, a gold, then this one is kind of also a gold, but like a subdued gold, kind of a light thing, and then you also do have this one. Okay, so this is of course also the shade that I used in one of my previous looks as a liner. Mixed it with Duraline, worked absolutely beautifully. So just so you know, if you're using a mixing medium to create liners with this palette, with this formula, works absolutely fine. And also the buildability and the blendability, really, when you think about it, but going in with the darkest shade first, just according to my experience, was really nice and was better than today. Now, I still really like this look, and I did not put the glitter on because I didn't like the blending, because it turned out really nicely. I just kind of wanted to go for a bit of a tropic fun party vibe. Kinda, you know. I don't know if I really succeeded. I asked my husband what he thinks. He says this could be interpreted as all kinds of stuff. Doesn't necessarily need to be a tropical party, but you know, I'm just guessing. But I just really wanted to put on some glitter because I'm very much into using loose glitters these days. So, and I think it's fun and it's something different and it's just really nice. Now, why am I always or usually applying my loose glitters here is because I'm not 16 anymore and I have to kind of take care of my lid space, you know. So that is the reason, because this part of course of my eye is the firmest, you know, it's the most firm part of my eye, so that's why I'm putting it here, because there it stays put for sure, you know. So that is the reason, and I think also it just creates a really cool look. So that is my philosophy behind that. Okay, the liner is from Inglot, as I already told you. It is the shade 79. This is how it looks. Maybe you remember that maybe like 2 months ago or something I received this in, or I talked about this in my haul video. I have to say the colorful shades of their gel liners are not as good as the black. The black one is more opaque with the colorful shades. Also, I do have a blue, which I have also started to use. You have to put on a couple of layers in order to get full opacity, and that is something that either you want it or you don't. With the black, usually I do not have that, but that is what it is. But I kind of really like this shade. This is the exact red liner shade that I've always wanted. So I'm not against just investing the time and like putting on a couple of layers, like whatever, you know. So that is what it is. Other than that, it works super well. And I should also show you, of course, the highlighter that I have in my inner corner, because it is a bit of a purplish one. I don't know if it comes across on camera, but it's the Halloween Magic highlighter from Kosmetics. You probably will not see the purple shift right here, but it definitely has one, and maybe you can see a hint of it here, but I don't know. So it does have a purple shift, and that is what it is. Okay, so what do I think about the palette? I love the palette. I have to say, I've always loved the Beauté formula. This is not a surprise for me. Formula change or not, I've always loved it, and I don't know if there is really such a big difference. I don't know, because I've always loved it. If I would have not liked it before and now I would like it, I would feel it, you know. I would feel the difference, but I don't. I've always liked it. So for me, it is very nice. Swatching wise, I have to say that I have palettes that swatch much better. It felt a little bit thin swatching, but that does not necessarily always mean something regarding the eyes, you know, because I also swatch on a bare arm. I have nothing on that. Now, there are other formulas who also swatch on a bare arm super nice. I have to say that this palette did not swatch super well on me personally, but then again, swatching is so you can see, yes, you can see the opacity and everything, but you can also see how it looks against the skin and these things, you know. That is actually the sense or the main purpose of swatching. It is not 100% only just to see, does this swatch in one swatch amazingly or whatever. Okay, so I built up the swatches a little bit. It looked fine, but you know, then again, I'm not putting any eyeshadow primer or anything on my arm before I start swatching. Okay, sweeties, this is basically it. I really liked it. I have no complaints. I think everything that I did with the palette turned out amazing. I got a lot of compliments. The looks were absolutely stunning, and according to my taste, of course, just, you know, you may disagree, that is totally fine. Leave me, of course, your feedback down in the comments, but I was absolutely happy with it. And seriously, working with this palette was like coming home. It was like floating in nature, you know. It was absolutely beautiful. So that is what I have to say, and I highly recommend it. If you like this color scheme and if you like the Ace Beauté formula, then definitely get yourself this palette because it's beautiful and it comes highly recommended by me. Okay, sweeties, this is it for today. Of course, as always, check out my description box where I have everything linked that I'm wearing on my face. You will have all my discount codes there. You have ways to support my channel and my links to social media. Beyond that, of course, as always, leave your comments in the comment section. I would love to know how you guys have been, what you have to say about the stuff that I've been speaking about in the video, and also of course about Ace Beauté and anything else. Just feel free to share. Beyond that, if you've not done so, then please subscribe to my channel. Would love to have you here, and I shall see all of you back here for my next video, which is going to be super soon. And up until then, definitely go ahead and sparkle. Hugs and kisses. Bye.